Howdy y'all. Hey, I'm back from Colorado here in Texas, and my hunting buddy John has had some trail cameras out, and anyway, he's got a feeder set out here, and a bunch of does started coming with their little yearlings or whatever, and fawns, and just recently some bucks have started coming in checking on those does. Now, I usually would like to get an earlier start on a food plot, but you know, it is what it is. I'm getting a late start. Here it is, election day, basically the 3rd of November. Should have been at least a month before that, and but it's been so dry. Even if I had planted seed, I don't think it would have come up, or if it did, it probably would have just browned out. So anyway, I've got some fertilizer, triple 13 from Lowe's, and then I went over to Tractor Supply. Well, I should say also I have some pelletized lime. This little pasture where we're going to be hunting these deer, it used to be heavily wooded with oak, and all those leaves over the years, I guess, have made the soil somewhat acidic. So I'm going to also mix some pelletized lime in with the triple 13. And then I'm going to come back right before the rain. I'm going to watch for the rain, and it ain't much chance. We got a 20%, then it goes to 30 the next day, and then back down to 20. So I don't know, I may be spinning my wheels, but I'll plant this thin. I only got 10 pounds of it, but it's got triticals, cow, whatever that is, oats, winter peas, annual clover, chicory, turnips, and daikon radish. So anyway, I'm going to put 10 pounds on about, a half an acre, I would say. This is really made for about a quarter of an acre, so it'll be pretty thin, but to back it up, I got 50 pounds of just feed oats for horses back there, and that usually comes up just fine if it's got enough moisture. The days are slowly cooling off. So now, to save a little legwork, I'm going to put, about half a hopper full of this triple 13. And then with that, I'm going to go ahead and take this pelletized lime and just go ahead and mix it together in there. You can see maybe you can see how big these seeds are. So they can go down to 1.5 inches deep, and they'll still be fine on the germination. But those fine seeds of the radishes and such, they have to stay up and, like a 1/4 inch deep. So we're going to do them separately. Now I'm going to run that disc, just not real deep, about maybe 1.5 inches. I'll run it over it a couple of times and try to get that fertilizer and those oat seeds down in there a little bit. Then I'll come back and drag it, but I sure don't want to put those little turnip seeds in yet until I get it all drugged, smoothed off, and then I'll use a whirlybird on it. And then I'll come back and drag it. Even though it's smooth, it don't really need to go in more than 1/4 inch, and that drag will be just enough to get it in there. I done latched on to this about 9-foot long, real heavy, solid railroad tie with a couple of little 6-foot chains, and then about a 12-foot chain to hook onto the tractor, and I'm going to drag that around and around and get all these oat seeds underneath the ground. Otherwise, them birds will be up in here and they'll be eating it all up. Well, I've got a little bit of this pelletized lime left. Not much, maybe, 10 pounds. So I'm going to put that in the hopper and then mix it in with all this, it's probably mostly oats in here. You can maybe kind of see that, but there's some pea seeds and some kind of little seeds that look like they could be broccoli or something. But it's winter peas, annual clover, chicory, turnips, some radishes, some kale, I guess, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to just mix it all in here. Well, Mother Nature didn't want to make with the rain, so I had to employ a sprinkler for about a 50-foot section. And I watered it for a couple of weeks, 10 days, whatever, and it finally started popping up. We're going to get a little patch going out one way or the other. Well, finally, we got some pretty decent rain. Well, last year I planted this stuff, the oats, too thick, so this year I only planted one 50-pound bag for this whole expanse. Not only over there, but also on this side over by the brush burn pile. But you can see this year's, there's a little bit more room for the brassica to come up. I don't know how well you can see it, but I think that's kind of like, I don't know, some kind of greens and radishes or whatever. And then over here you got some oats. And there's the peas coming up. Those deer are flat loving it. They still run to the corn pretty much and go right through this, but some of them that get pushed off the corn over there, they'll come back over and get out here in these oats and peas and stuff, and they'll tear it up. But anyway, I had to water this, but that 2-inch rain over here where there hadn't been no water from the sprinkler coming to it, you can see it's starting to come up as well. There's the oats, a little bit of that brassica there. So hopefully within a week or two, this is all going to be greened up. Well, I'm glad I started watering with that fan sprinkler because it really allowed the oats to come out in 2 different batches. So I got some that are mature now, and they're getting ate up. And then some will be coming along a little bit later when that rain came in. But they've been out on it. This buck, he's been coming out and sniffing the air like, well, he really likes something in the air. And he can't quite decide if he wants to eat the oats or sniff the air. But I think these doe maybe come into heat. Some of them did. And anyway, he's been eating all them oats, and now I think he's starting to feel his oats. So he been getting in behind these deer at legal shooting light in the mornings. And in fact, that was just this morning. He'd been running them does. So I'm hopeful that his big brother, who we've been seeing, but only at night, is going to start sniffing those doe out, and he's going to start coming around at some point during the daylight hours. So anyway, that's kind of my motivation for planting all this oats and brassica and spending the money on fertilizer and stuff. Hopefully we're going to meet this fella kind of at sunrise at some point, and he's going to make a mistake and look the wrong way at the wrong time.